Welcome back. Welcome everybody to CarnivorousGrama Speaks, Women of Wisdom series. I'm super excited to be here tonight with Courtney Luna. Hey, Courtney.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to chat with you tonight.
I'm super excited that you are here. Before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and read my scripture for the Women of Wisdom series. It is Proverbs 14:1. And it says that the wise woman builds her house, but the foolish pulls it down with her hands. And of course, if you watch my channel, you know that this scripture really resonates with me for women, particularly women who are choosing a proper human diet, a ketogenic diet, a carnivore diet, because we're literally building our physical house where in the past we were tearing it down and we didn't even realize it. So that scripture is, I always read that for this show, and I just want to welcome you. If you are new here, I'm so glad to see you. I see, we have some of Courtney's folks here in the room, so welcome, you guys. And at this moment, I'm going to go ahead and let Courtney introduce herself for those of you who do not know her yet.
Hello, everybody. So nice to see everyone today. Thanks so much for having me. So my name's Courtney. I am a stay-at-home mom in Southern California, 40 years old. I've been carnivore for almost 3 years now after a long history of yo-yo dieting and wonky eating. I have finally found what works for me and what I've actually been able to stick to and stay consistent and actually keep the weight off that I've lost. So yeah, eating this way has been life-changing for me. And I'm just, I want to shout it from the rooftops and help anybody that is willing to listen how I can help them heal their health issues. So yeah, it's an honor to be here.
Thank you so much. It is, I hear you. What you're saying is resonating with me. I was also on the yo-yo diet train up and down and all my life dieting and all that stuff. So, can you tell us, just tell us a little bit about your background in eating and what led you to the carnivore diet?
Yeah, so I went to my first Weight Watchers meeting at the age of 13. So, about 25 years of not knowing what I was doing, but trying to lose weight. And I got a little bit, I guess you could say, warmer to better healthy eating. In 2010, my mom introduced me to Mark Sisson's book, The Primal Blueprint, which is paleo. And she was actually like 25-year vegetarian at the time. So she introduced me to that. And she also started eating meat again. So
Nice.
I, got a little bit healthier with that, but I was young in my lower early 20s. And so, I was busy doing other things. I wasn't trying to be healthy. It was more of like a weight loss thing. So didn't really stick to it, but I did get a little um closer to carnivore with doing keto. So I was keto and low carb on and off for 7 years, but never once heard of carnivore. I don't know why. I'm still confused why I was so out of the loop and never saw anybody talk about it. So it wasn't until I lost I had my second baby, lost 50 pounds like for the third time doing low carb and keto. I stopped doing what was working for me. I got caught up in the anti-diet culture message that they spread where all foods fit. You need to eat everything in moderation. There's no such thing as bad foods. And I'm like, oh, yes, that sounds great. I'm like, I'm going to, let's bring croissants back in. And I actually had the first week was decent. I was very mindful. I lost a couple pounds, but just having that sugar and carbs, I went on a spiral. I essentially was on a 4-month binge. I lost 40 pounds during, I know I gained 40 pounds during those 4 months. Like it's just, I have no words. It's almost like laughable because like how ridiculous. So my husband was sending me Dr. Paul Saladino's TikToks. And after about a month, I finally asked him, I'm like, why are you sending me these? Like, should we not be eating vegetables? That's so weird. He's like, oh, I need to do some research. So that was my intro to it. And I was just, I was almost 200 pounds. My mental health was horrendous. I was on Zoloft for depression and anxiety. My acne, I've had lifelong acne, but it was so bad. I just felt like crap. I would wake up even after getting a full night's sleep and I just felt lethargic. Like I just wasn't doing well. So I'm like, okay, let's give this a shot. to hopefully feel better but lose some weight. Again, I wasn't following
Mhm.
all these influencers, so I had no idea all the health benefits I could have. I was strictly coming at it from a weight loss place. So we gave it a shot, and I started out animal based. My little sugar addicted brain was like, yeah, we're going to have that fruit. 5 weeks into it, I realized that that fruit still had a hold on me. Even though I could eat like a pound ribeye and be satisfied, like my mouth still wanted blueberries. So
Mhm.
after those 5 weeks, I went strict carnivore and haven't looked back.
That is amazing. That story sounds so familiar of, keto, going on keto and still having cravings and dealing with all of those kinds of issues on keto. I don't know, I would say I did keto for 5 years, and then I did Cheeto for 5 years. So, I call it Cheeto because I could not get back on the wagon. I just struggled and struggled and struggled to try to get back on, and I ended up seeing, Dr. Berry go carnivore, and I watched him. But it's funny because I think I had heard of Kelly Hogan, way back in, because she's been doing it for ages, but I thought, when I first heard it, I thought, "That's insane. Who does that?" Like, you're gonna kill yourself just eating meat, because of all of the propaganda that we have heard around what meat does to the body. Did you hear any of that when you were thinking about going carnivore? Did you have any pushback or any, you know, mental issues with trying to do it?
Yeah, I thought it was weird. I mean, I'm like, the same things everyone thinks, like, why no vegetables? Like, how am I going to get these nutrients? Like, I just had no clue. I feel like you think of protein or you think of meat and it's like, okay, protein and some fat, like not knowing all the nutrients that are in it. So yeah, I was a little, confused at the beginning, but I was just so desperate, honestly, to lose that weird.
We are having a little bit of technical difficulty, some glitchiness. Yeah, you're a little bit glitchy, so I don't know if it's you or me. But, can you hear me okay still?
Oh no. Sorry about that. I hear you and I see you now. It was spinning a second ago.
Okay, good. Well, hopefully we are okay. I definitely was having a little bit of glitchiness on this side, so I think we're good. Yeah, I was just wondering about whether or not did you have any qualms or thoughts around, I mean, you said you thought it was weird. I did hear that part.
Yeah, so just, not really understanding the true nutritional value of meat and just thinking it was crazy to give up vegetables. But I mean, it's been the best decision I've ever made.
Same here. So, did you have any struggles with trying to convert over to carnivore? What were the biggest issues that you had in the beginning, and how did you overcome those?
Um, you know what? I feel like I had it pretty easy. Like I never had any oxalate dumping or anything like weird. I would say the only thing I had to adjust to was like having the fat and, having to maybe run to the bathroom a little bit more than I was used to. But I feel like that sorts itself out after a while. And yeah, so that would be my only issue, but it ended up being okay.
That's amazing. Did you have any health issues or anything that you saw change when you converted over to a meat-based way of eating? We're definitely having a little bit of a lag, but that's okay.
Yeah, so I would say that I'm not seeing like that I don't know, I show that I'm connected. Sorry if that's
Okay.
me. I know I
I think we're definitely having some technical difficulties here, so hopefully Courtney will be able to uh come back in, you guys. But hello everybody. I see all these hellos coming in, and I'm just going to go ahead and try to walk through some of this while we're waiting for her to see if she can get her connection back up and going. All right. So I want to welcome Mark's Random Curiosities from England. Hello. Thank you so much for being here. We have Bree. Hello, Bree. Um,
Uh,
Peachy.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm
Oh, that's
back spinning. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. I can hear you, but you're not moving. There you go. All right. So, can you hear me? You know, when it's the internet, you just never know what you're going to get. And I know there's all these storms going on between me and you, Courtney. There's like a whole bunch of storms in the middle between us. I'm in
Can you hear me
Michigan.
now? I'm so sorry.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. I'm sorry. Hopefully that Okay, sorry. You were asking though, like the health benefits. And so I
Yes.
would say like the most major one was the mental health side of things. And I had no idea that that was going to be a benefit I would get. Like I said, I was just coming at it from a weight loss perspective. So about a month in of eating this way, I was on a lower dose at the time of my meds, and it wasn't quite enough for me. So I was able to notice that I had some improvement. And so, yeah, I feel like that's been the best thing is just not being in such a dark place anymore, not eating such a high inflammatory diet that my brain is inflamed. So, yeah, that's been life changing.
That is absolutely life changing. And it's so interesting because I actually, about a year before I tried carnivore, I was so anxious. Like my issue was severe, debilitating anxiety. And I called the doctor and said, put me on something because I'm not going to be able to live my life. I can't even function in normal life. And so I think, and when you said Zoloft, I'm like, yes, I think that's what I was on. It was an antidepressant. And after 90 days on carnivore, I started weaning myself off of it because I didn't need it anymore. Um, you know, not that everything is perfect. So how about for you? It's not perfect, or is it, are you like, have you reached the mountaintop with your, with your mental health?
Yeah, I mean, it's not perfect. I still have my moments, and I do like I'm kind of just like an anxious person, especially like anticipatory anxiety. When things are like coming up, I get a little like I will always have butterflies before I do an interview, even though I've done like 100 of them. So little things like that. But I mean, totally drastic. I mean, there was days where I didn't even want to get out of bed. And and sometimes I kind of would and I would do like the bare minimum to like, keep my kids alive and happy, but just in a really, really dark spot. So that is totally lifted. And yeah, of course, you can ask my husband. I'm sure I have my wonky moments, but I think for the most part it's drastically better.
Yes, I think that's the thing. It's like it's so much better than it was before that it's not even comparable, literally. It's just and you wouldn't think that just eating meat could do that. But for those of you out there who may not have tried the carnivore diet yet, meat is it's amazing for mental health. So, did you have anything surprising? Like, I am shocked that carnivore did this.
I feel like just like the mental health, but just how I like have a little bit more when I'm super strict, I have that more of like food freedom. If when I am just strictly carnivore, I'm not thinking about other things. It's only if I have like a bite of something I shouldn't have, which mind you, I was strict for 2 years. It's only been recently that I've like, oh, let me have a bite of my kid's fruit. Horrible decision. If don't do that if you struggle with sugar addiction. So me having I heard someone talk about this, but once I heard it, it was like light bulbs went off is the difference between an abstainer and a moderator. And now I know like, oh, that makes so much sense. Like, and why keto didn't work for me. And that's because they allowed like those keto treats. So knowing that I can't moderate those foods and I need to abstain, that changed everything. I can't have a bite of a donut and go about my day and not think about it. Like I would obsessively think about it. So I just all those foods, they're not even food to me. It's not a part of my diet. And a lot of self-awareness into your body and your hunger cues, and just I don't know, it's a lot of self-reflection.
Yes, I totally agree with that. And sometimes people will be like, "Can't you just have X?" You know, and I'm like, "No, I can't just have X because I'm not." Can you just describe what the difference is between an abstainer and a moderator, if you would?
Sorry, it cut out. Describe the difference of
Okay.
what?
Between an abstainer and a moderator.
Okay, so yeah, if you're an abstainer, that means you need to abstain from foods that don't make you feel occasion. Like my husband eats a carnivore diet, but he's a moderator. So he can occasionally go off plan, have something that he shouldn't, and not give it another thought and just get back on track. Whereas if I had something, I would either obsessively think about how to not have any more the rest of the day, or maybe it would set me off into a spiral and a binge. It's like just like an alcoholic can't have one drink, I can't have just one donut. Like sugar addiction is real. It
Yes.
lights up areas in your brain like cocaine would. So it's very much, you know, a, a widely accepted drug, if you will. So just having that
Yes.
self-awareness, if you need to completely abstain from that, then just don't have it around you, don't even have a bite, just stay away from it.
Right, totally. Thank you so much for clarifying on that. I think that, I'm such an abstainer that I can't even understand what it would be like to be a moderator, be able to just, I call it dibble and dabble in this and that and and be okay. So I am like, no, because I'm a true sugar addict. So that means to me that I have to abstain if I want to stay sober, as Dr. Lisa Wiedemann would, carb sober. We would just, I would just lose my way. I feel like I would lose my way if I try different things. So I just don't. And people are like, "Can you try this?" And I'm like, "No." And the people can't really understand that. But I think a lot of people that think you could try things are also they should also be abstainers. So, I just think it's
Yeah,
it's
and that kind of bugs me too, because I've had comments. Sorry, the delay,
no,
it sounds like you're done and then I talk. Um, I'll just say I get comments, like, on, say, like, my carnivore cake, and they're like, "Just eat real cake. Just have a slice of cake." Like, "How sad you have to do this. How sad you can't have a slice of cake." And I always revert it back to, like, drinking. Like, would you ever say that to an alcoholic? Like, how sad you can't have just 1 glass of wine. And honestly, there's a reason why I don't drink anymore either. I'm almost 4 years sober because there's not just having 1 glass of wine. Like, I will have the entire bottle and then go looking for the next. So,
yeah.
yeah, it just that kind of rubs me the wrong way because I feel like people are very dismissive, and it's because they don't get it, and I'm jealous of that. I'm glad they don't understand what we go through, but maybe just having a little more acceptance that, carb and sugar addiction is real. I mean, I see it in my kids daily with like, I want fruit, give me fruit, even just the fructose, it still, can have a hold on you. So,
Exactly, 100%. And as a matter of fact, I was having a conversation. I was going out to dinner with my husband a few weeks back, and right next to the place where we're going is like the best donut shop in town. I saw this couple from church. They were at the donut shop, and I was like having a moment where I was like, "Oh man, it would be nice to have a donut." He's like, "You're never gonna have a donut again," and I'm like, "No, I'm never gonna have one." and he just was like mind blown. But I'm like, I don't think I can just have a donut. A donut's going to lead me down the road to all kinds of things and all kinds of health issues that I no longer want to have to deal with. So yeah, it would be nice, to be a moderator and be able to just eat a donut and be okay, but I don't think that I'm that person. Sounds like you're not that person too.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Yes.
Yeah,
All
I think
right.
there's a saying like, how is it? One is too many, but 12 is not enough.
Yep. Yep. Like all of them are never enough. Like you just have to keep going for that. It's a sugar high. I mean, we know that it's highly, highly addictive. So it's just, we don't face the fact in our culture, we don't face the fact that sugar is one of the most addictive substances on the planet. And, most of us are, addicted from a very, very early age. If we're a formula fed baby, then we're eating sugar from birth, And so, and what do we do with a baby? I always say this. What do we do with a baby on the first birthday? We give them a whole cake to smash. So we get our kids addicted to sugar early. So, so you said that you've been carnivore for about 3 years, and I'm wondering how your approach to the diet has changed or evolved over time.
Yeah, I was very strict in the beginning. I didn't even do seasonings. I still had coffee, but just very strict. I went 2 years without having a taste of anything. Honestly, I was afraid. I was scared that even just having like making a smoothie for my kids, I was curious, like, what does this taste like? Like, what am I making and serving you? But I was afraid that would like set me off. So I went 2 years being super strict. I have since allowed little things and taste here and there to creep back in. Unfortunately, I don't recommend it. I'm like not trying to introduce things. I feel better without it, but like once in a while I do have some stuff. I feel like pickles, like I'm not gonna like binge on pickles. They're not triggering to me. I think they're delicious. So like once in a while I'll have a pickle or once in a while I'll have an olive, but having those things aren't like a part of my diet. I just try and be as strict as I can. I feel better physically and mentally. Like the food noise creeps back in if I even have a bite of my kid's fruit, then it's like a
Mm,
spiral all over again. So just keeping it strict carnivore is what's best for me.
that is awesome. So, I just want to talk a little bit about your family. So you said that your husband introduced you to carnivore through Dr. Paul Saladino. And so I'm curious to know, like, how does your family feel that you've been doing it for a while now? So they probably already know, like, this is what she's doing. But how does your family feel and extended family feel about your carnivore way of eating?
Yeah, I'm sure my vegan family member thinks I'm nuts, and my vegetarian cousin, I'm sure they think I'm crazy, but my parents, my dad and my stepmom have been keto for probably like 5 or 7 years. They went keto when we went keto. My mom went keto when we went keto and dabbles. Like I would say she's probably like ketovore, but a moderator, so she'll occasionally have things. My two aunts went carnivore and have like tremendous health benefits and improvements. So yeah, I think you just kind of live by example. Don't push it on anybody, and people get curious because they see how well you're doing and then they give it a shot. So yeah, everyone around me I feel like is slowly like dabbling it, or at least being a little more aware of what they're eating, maybe ditching more of the processed stuff, prioritizing meat. But yeah, it's been cool to see.
That is so awesome. It's really nice to see the family starting to change their mind about meat, and also release some of the like seed oils and the processed foods that we have just been so entrenched with. So that's one of the things that's really awesome is, when you're leading by example, that you can, show by example because people see you before you do it, and then they see you when you're doing it, and it's like a night and day difference. I feel, emotionally and with your mental health. Also, did you lose weight? I don't know if you heard me. My question was, what did you lose weight on carnivore?
Yeah, so I'm around like the 55-pound mark. Some days it gets to the 57-pound mark, but I'm gaining and losing like the same 5 pounds. But yeah, I'm 5'4". I was almost 200 pounds. So we're almost there. I still probably have like 10 pounds I'd like to lose, but honestly, it hasn't budged in like a year. So I'm kind of like just giving up on it, and just like if it happens, it does. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. But yeah, 55 pounds, not too shabby.
Congratulations. Yes, I'm right there with you at the like 10 pounds left to go. And I've been on carnivore for 2 years, just a little over 2 years. So, but yeah, that you know, I guess I feel like, all right, my question is around the difference between not losing weight on carnivore and not losing weight on all those other diets. Like mentally, is there a difference um, between the two?
It cut out a little bit. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so I was talking about the difference between not losing weight on carnivore or being kind of on a plateau on carnivore versus being on a plateau on all those other diets. Is there any kind of a difference with the way you think of it?
Yeah, I mean, this is the only thing that's actually like worked for me, and I've kept it off. And yeah, having this, yeah, I don't know, it's hard to like explain having this plateau. Like at least I'm still like feeling amazing and having all these health benefits. So I'd love to lose it, but I also think it's kind of like it should be the least of my concerns right now because I'm having so many other health benefits by eating this way. So yeah, I'll never go back to a standard American diet or do anything like that.
Yeah,
So yeah, this is it for me.
I hear you. Okay, so let's talk about food. What are some of your go-to meals for busy days when you don't have much time to cook?
We do a lot of steaks. Like we keep it pretty simple: steaks, burger patties, eggs, and then once in a while, throw in some of my recipes. So, like the other night, we did carnisa, which is one of my pizza recipes, which I love, and bacon cheeseburger soup out of my book. I love, and double the batch, and it reheats well, and you can make it all week. So we keep it relatively simple, but also mix it up because the kids get a little bored with steak and burger patties. So I kind of, jazz it up a little bit for them, and just to give us different flavors and textures and just make it a little bit more fun and creative.
Nice. Since you're talking about your book, I'm just gonna show it and maybe you can tell us a little bit about it. Let me share that screen. Congratulations. I think I saw that
Thank
this is a
you.
bestseller, like number one bestseller. I'm like, yay, that's awesome.
Yeah, it did good on, yeah, like on Amazon, it got, actually international bestseller, I recently heard. So yeah, I just, I wanted to give people a little bit more just ways of keeping this diet entertaining, sustainable, creative. I know there's a lot of people that are like, you shouldn't have a cookbook. It's just meat and eggs, steak and eggs. But, a lot of people, they can't do that. And that's okay. You're not failing the carnivore diet if you get bored of steak and eggs. It's okay to like
Right.
mix some things up here and there. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun to create. And yeah, it was a labor of love, and it's nice to see it being well received.
Yes. So, you just said that what inspired you was that you wanted people to have, options as far as things to eat on carnivore, and I think that too, like, a lot of the, young people, particularly that I am coaching are like, they want variety. They want different tastes and textures and, want to know how to do different things. And so this is a really, really good thing for people to be able to try something different. Um, so is your book for beginners, long-term carnivores, or do you have a target audience?
Yeah, I feel like there's a little something in there for everybody. In the beginning, there's like Carnivore 101. So if you are new to this way of eating, there are guidelines on carnivore, animal-based, ketovore, talk about like different like tools in the kitchen to use, grocery lists, meal plans. And so yeah, a lot of fun recipes, but there is like a simply meats chapter because I am aware that a lot of people don't do dairy. So yes, there is
Yes.
a bit of dairy in this book, but there's a whole chapter that is just different cuts of meat, how to cook them, and there's like some comforting classics. So, carnivorize some of your favorites like biscuits and gravy, lasagna, pizza, um, noodles. So, and then dessert too. So it's, yeah, just great for someone that wants to mix it up a little bit. Or if you have kids, I find it's so
Mhm.
helpful for kids, chicken nuggets, corn dogs, like things like that. Like they just mind get bored so easily, like really like another like they love steak and burger patties, but they need a little bit more. So brings a little excitement.
That's awesome. Natasha G just said, I just bought your cookbook. Yay! Congratulations,
Thank
Natasha.
you.
I've made a lot of the recipes that you've graciously posted in videos. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
Thank you. So yeah, I share a lot online. Like if somebody doesn't want to grab the book, I still share a lot of these things online on YouTube, all the platforms. There's a lot of stuff out there. But yeah, if you do want to grab it, it's on Amazon, Target, Walmart, Barnes and Noble, like all online. But there is some select Barnes and Nobles that have it in store. So don't go to one. Check your store locator because they're few and far between, but if you are in Canada, this bookstore Indigo, it's actually in quite a few of their stores up there. So,
Okay, cool. I just dropped a link to Courtney's book if you wanted to check it out on Amazon. So, what is your favorite recipe out of your book? Can you pick one?
sorry, it cut out. I
I said, can
heard
you
out of your
pick
book.
just one favorite recipe out of your book?
A recipe?
Yeah, your favorite one.
I would say, okay, maybe two. I would say the carniza and then the bacon cheeseburger soup. I feel like those are our go-tos that like weekly repeat.
Yum, yum, yum. I just have recently found that I can't tolerate cheese, and I'm devastated, as you may well expect. It's like, that's a terrible thing. So both of those sound amazing. I definitely am gonna have to make them for the grandkids and for my husband. So, and Cindy is saying, the book is worth it. I love it. So you guys go and pick the book up. And definitely, I've been seeing some of your recipes online. And my intent was to have the book by the time we had this interview, but I don't have it yet, but I will have it. Because I saw that you have a section in there for cooking with
Oh, and someone
kids. Yes.
yes. Yeah. Somebody said, the library. I always forget about the library.
Oh,
So
good
yeah,
idea.
go to
Yeah.
the library, check it out, like photocopy the whole thing. Like do what you need to do. I don't want anyone to feel pressure to buy one. Yeah, go to the library and scan it all. I don't care.
Yeah, and Sharon's saying that you've got meal plans in there, which is really nice. Also, some carnivore desserts. I recently saw your carnivore bread recipe. So, talk to us about that carnivore bread. Is it like bread? Does it taste good and all the things?
Um, it's not like bread. I mean, okay, it is when you slice it thin and toast it up. So as it's loaf, I mean, there's 12 eggs in there. So it's very dense. It's eggy in a way, of course, because there's a lot of eggs. But I feel like if I were to put more, say, like pork panko powder, then it changes the flavor. So this is the most neutral, but if you slice it really thin and put it in the air fryer, then it's like toast. Like it's a very neutral flavor. I
Mhm.
don't think it tastes like pork or eggs once it's toasted.
Okay.
Or if you even just pan fry it, then it's still going to be dense, but it's the pan frying in butter gives it like a French toast texture. So pan fried in butter, sprinkle some cinnamon, and then for my kids, I'll use like a keto syrup and they love it. So
Oh my gosh, that sounds
make it your
amazing.
own.
I haven't had French toast in a long time. So Skating Mom is saying, I can't tolerate dairy either, but I can tolerate Pecorino Romano cheese and Manchego cheese. They're both from sheep's milk. And I just wanted to bring this up because today I did go out and I bought some goat cheese and some sheep cheese, because I was like, well, maybe it's the cow's milk proteins that I can't really tolerate. And, so I figured I'd just give it a try and see. And it doesn't take very much for me to recognize that I can't have it. Like it causes an immediate reaction. So I'll know very fast if it gives me a problem. So thank you for that information though, Skating Mom, because I mean, it's hard. It's a hard life without cheese. I'm like, what is a cheeseless life? I just don't even know. I love cheese. So do you at all incorporate any fasting into your regimen that you do?
I do. I used to a lot when I was keto, and I don't as much, but I am dabbling in it again. But there's just honestly, it feels like there's so much conflicting information out there, like our hormones and of course, like there's Dr. Mindy Pell's teaching us how to fast for our hormones, and then there's people saying that we shouldn't fast at all. And what's easiest for me is to push off my eating window and eat like between noon and 6 or something like that. But then
Mhm.
you hear that that's not good for our leptin and we should be eating breakfast. And if you are going to fast, chop it off at like 2 or 3. But for me, that's hard. Like when I eat in the morning, I feel like it's opening up the floodgates to eat more. And it's hard for me to stop eating at 3 and go live my life for 5 more hours not eating. It's just like a mental thing. Like my stomach probably doesn't need more food, but mentally. So that being said, yes, I do dabble in it occasionally. But I'm doing it against what people say. I'm doing the later eating window because that's just what works for me. But just here and there, I do eat 3 meals a day often. Once in a blue moon, I'll do like a 24 or a 36-hour fast, but it's mentally hard for me. I'm an eater, especially if I have kids to feed, like it's hard to be around. If you could like lock me in a room for 5 days and I could fast, I'm sure I'd finally get to my goal weight. But it's just I like to eat. It's hard.
I hear you. Yes. I've recently tried to incorporate more intermittent fasting. Um, Back, a few years ago, Dr. Jason Fung was all the rage, and he was, had the obesity code and the ultimate I think it's the ultimate guide to fasting. I always get the name of that book wrong, but it's really, really good. And, there was a lot of people fasting. It was like just all the rage a few years back. I don't know if you remember that, but it is quite confusing. And I feel like in so many ways we hear wildly varying things about the way that you should do a carnivore diet. So, I think everybody's got to kind of try to figure this thing out for themselves. Like, are you able to fast? Can you fast? If you can fast, like, how can you fast? What's going to work for you? But what about this? I mean, what about these wildly different? How do you deal with that? Like with these wildly different stories about the way, like, let's take for instance, high fat versus no, not as high of fat. Like you need to be eating a stick of butter a day versus eating lean, lean days and those kinds of things.
Yeah, I feel like there's conflicting opinions on all that, and it can be very confusing. I mean, I've tried it all, honestly, and I think there's a time and a place for those things. And I also wonder if there's no one right way for each person for all of it. Like maybe bringing in, if you've been eating lean, maybe bringing in some high fat days could be helpful for breaking through stalls. Or maybe you've been high fat for a while and you need to just like shake it up. So I almost wonder, I think our body adapts, and I don't think there's one right way to do it, that we may need to shake things up a bit. So yeah, I feel like it's very confusing because you have a lot of people saying you should be high fat, and then you have, let's say, like Maria Emmerich and Candy from Primal Bod, who are doing, very high protein and leaner cuts of meat and low calories, I'll add to their
Mhm.
stuff too. So, I mean, it's very confusing. I've tried it all and I've had success, I feel like, with all of them. But I feel like the high fat is hard because it's very low. If you like to eat, it's not a lot of food to hit your macros. So for me, when I was doing the high fat, I felt good, but I ate more than I needed wise. So I think you gotta have to play around and see what works best for you at that time and how you feel your best. So I think it's all bio individual. I think we all need enough protein and enough fat, but what number is that? Who knows?
Right, exactly. And do you subscribe at all to the idea of, oh my gosh, my thought just went right out of my head. I hate when that happens, but to the idea of like
I hate when
lean
that happens.
lean days, or protein sparing, not modified fasting, those kinds of approaches.
Yeah, I think it can be helpful. I mean, I just recently tried that for the first time, and I did 3 days of PSMF in a row, which you're not supposed to do, but I just did it for like the sake of a video and just having that data right like that. And I did lose some weight. But I think it can also be triggering. Like, you're not eating a lot, it's not a lot of calories. So when you're done, you might want to, like, gorge yourself on things. So I do think there's something to switching up macros for sure and playing
Mhm.
around with the fat amount, but just like know yourself. Like, if that's going to make you, if having that super tight restriction is going to make you, binge on the other end of it, then it definitely wouldn't be worth it. But yeah, I see some benefit though into having a chicken breast on occasion and lowering the fat and just keep your body guessing.
Yeah, I definitely can see that. I like to do experimentation on myself. I constantly am trying different things. Last summer, I did try incorporating lean days, like a couple of lean days a week. I can say that I felt less joy during those lean days. I didn't feel as happy or satisfied with my carnivore way of eating. Then I tried, like, let's stick a butter a day challenge, and I literally gained 10 pounds in a month from eating that much fat. I mean, and I wasn't tracking anything else. I was just, adding a stick of butter a day to my way of eating, and I gained 10 pounds doing that. And it took 6 months to get it off, the 10 pounds. So it was a little bit challenging. Do you do any tracking of macros, or, management of your way of eating in that way?
Yeah, I do occasionally, especially in the beginning when I started eating this way, because I'm like, I don't even know like what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, how much should I be eating? I want to make sure I'm eating enough. I want to make sure I'm not eating too much because I was trying to lose weight. So I did that in the beginning for a while, and I ate, like, I was pretty good. Like, I ate about 1,800 calories, 130 grams of fat, 130 grams of protein, and I did that for
Mhm.
45 pounds. And then it stopped working. So I had to like shake things up.
Yep.
Currently, I'm kind of like taking a little break from actively trying to lose weight, which I think is fine. We all need to, they say like reverse diet and diet breaks and all that. So I'm still trying to be really mindful, but just taking a little break from tracking right now, just for
Yeah.
like my mental sake.
I totally get that, because I feel like when I start tracking, it puts me back into the headspace of the food noise. Like, I'm constantly thinking about, well, what did I eat? I got to make sure I don't forget to put anything in the tracker, and it gives me that obsessive feeling, I feel like, when I start tracking. So I can totally get why you would not want to do it. And I know that, tracking can be good, and I have done it, but I prefer not to do it because it puts me in an obsessive type of a headspace. So we do have a question out here, so let me bring this up. This is Charlie, Darth Carnivore, and he's saying, "What is your favorite non-scale victory achieved so far on Carnivore?"
I'd have to say the mental health. I know we kind of already talked about that, but yeah, I mean, that's been life changing for me. And that's what I want to make sure people know that that can happen, and that eating an inflammatory diet is not good for our brains. That maybe you don't need to be carnivore, but paying attention to what you're eating and keeping things, I'd say at least low carb, would be the most beneficial.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I agree. I think that, and I talk with my coaching folks and say to them all the time that carnivore is a game changer for mental health. It's like unbelievable what carnivore can do for your brain, or even, yeah, low carb can help too, but carnivore is like the holy grail in my book. So, I do wanna kinda share your YouTube site. Can you tell us what's going on next? So, are you working on any special projects or anything coming up soon?
I am not. I turned down book number 2, maybe in the future, but, like, it's just so much work, so not right now. So I'm actually, like, thinking, I'm like, "Okay, what is my next project?" And I don't know. I do have, like, some events coming up, so, like, in May, if anyone's going to Meat Stock, I will see you there. If not, May 2026 is gonna be even better for meat stock next year. So you guys can sign up for that because this year's all signed up, all sold out. But so that's going to be our big event for next year, and it's going to be amazing, like a ton of like big names. So come hang out with us then. But yeah, nothing else on the docket for now. But I am open and ready if anyone has any ideas for me.
Okay, I can't believe you said that you're not doing another book. I'm sure the people are like, "Oh," in the audience, they're all doing that at once. So I just dropped a link to Meatstock 2025 for you if you want to get your ticket to Meatstock. So let's take a look at your channel. You can tell us what kind of things you're doing over there.
The end cut out. Sorry, I didn't hear it.
I just want to take a look at your channel and have you describe what you're doing over here.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so, I'm kind of actually figuring out what I'm doing right now and maybe making some shifts. I did just have Benazati on. He's amazing. So I do some interviews, but I'm trying to almost like branch out a little bit more and not just focus on talking to carnivores, expanding it a little bit to people who may not ever want to be carnivore, but are looking to make some changes for their family, make their family healthier, changes in their health. So my favorite content these days is like doing these vlogs and just kind of like showing how to keep this way of eating, a lifestyle and sustainable. I think a lot of people are overwhelmed. They're like, how do you do this every day? How do you feed your kids?
Yeah,
So, kind of like sharing that side of things.
nice. I love it. I love that. I love that kind of pivot because everybody needs better health, right? I think all of us can benefit from reducing our sugar intake and also increasing our protein intake. I feel like, we kind of meat has been demonized and sugar's been glorified, like, it's in everything, so a reduction in the sugar, so I love that pivot to talk to, other folks that are not necessarily maybe not ever be carnivores, but, um, need to get some good information about what to eat, so I love that. Maybe that can be your next book. Alright, and then I did, take a
Maybe in
look
a
at
few
your
years. We'll see when my kids are older.
I hear you, I hear you. I'm gonna just, also bring up your website. think I got it up here somewhere. Right here. Here's your website. And I'll make sure that all these links are also in the show notes for this live stream. You want to tell us a little bit about your website? I love this picture, by the way.
Oh, thank you. My website desperately needs an update. There's a blog section. I think I have maybe like 3 blog articles up there. So it needs some love, but it does have like things linked, and there's an option to like put in your email and get some favorite recipes and a grocery list. So there's things on there, like all my favorite items. So if you click on shop, there's like all the things that I use and I love are linked there. But yeah, I need an assistant or something. That thing needs some love for sure.
Very nice. I love it. That's cool because then you can go and pick up some of this stuff. So that's very nice. I'll make sure that this is also in the show notes for today's live stream. All right, we're getting ready to wrap it up. So I would like to have you speak to a couple of people. One is the person who's never tried carnivore and is nervous about it because of everything that we've been taught. Do you have any advice for them? And then the other person is a person who's been struggling to stay on carnivore, who's been struggling with that, abstainer versus moderator question. And so I just wonder if you could say a few words to those two people.
Yeah, so if you're curious, just give it a shot. I mean, what do you have to lose besides, your health issues? Like, knock on wood. I mean, I guess I can't say nothing's going to happen, but nothing's going to happen in a month, 2 or 3. Like, if you're worried about like cholesterol or this or that, like nothing crazy going to happen in 3 months. So just give it a shot. And I say 3 months because something magical happens at the 3-month mark. I think giving it 30 days is great, but those first few weeks are still like a big adjustment period. So I would give it a shot, maybe take it one day at a time. 90 days can sound a little daunting. Give it 30 days, stretch it out to 90, because that's where a lot of things even shifted better for me too. For the person that is stuck or falling off track, I would just dig deep and figure out what your why is. Why are you eating this way? I feel like it needs to be sometimes a little bit more than just weight loss. Weight loss is great, but dig a little bit deeper. Like, do you have health issues? Do you have grandkids? Maybe you want to be able to, get on the floor, play with your grandkids and be able to get up, running after your kids if you're a mom. So like find something a little bit deeper and have that be your why. And when you're reaching for things that you shouldn't eat, just remind yourself of why you're eating this way. And if you're battling those sugar cravings, distract yourself, go for a walk, do something and know that those cravings will pass. So, okay, you want that cookie? Well, go for a walk first and then decide when you get back if you still want it. And chances are that probably, the craving passed by. So yeah, I think that's it.
Awesome. Okay, sorry, my dog is in here and he's been really good, but some noise is happening upstairs. So, what my last question is, what question you need to respond to that I did not ask? What did I miss?
I think we nailed it all. I mean, all my little go-to talking points that I want to make sure people know, I feel like we hit them all. I don't think we missed anything.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being with me today, Courtney. I appreciate you. I appreciate everything that you're doing in the space. And you guys, I want you to just throw a little thumbs up into the chat for Courtney. She just reached 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. So congratulations, Courtney. That's really, really awesome. It's a great milestone. Looking forward to seeing more and more amazing things from you. Even if it's not a cookbook, I'm looking forward to what you have coming in the future. And we appreciate that cookbook because, some people need help figuring out. That's like one of the main questions that we get is, what can I eat on carnivore? If I do this, what am I going to be able to eat? Is it just going to be a steak every day? And so the cookbook is really, really amazing. And so the congratulations are coming in. So, Nana BC, she says, thank you, Courtney.
Thank you, guys.
Country Girl says, congratulations. So you guys can see Courtney at Meatstock and this year and next year. Are there any other events that you're going to be attending that you're aware of yet?
Not planned. Yeah, no, I was maybe gonna. Yeah, I know Hack Your Health is huge, totally recommend it. It's in, November. I'm probably not gonna be there, but it is an amazing event if you guys want some more like-minded community.
So I will be at Hack Your Health this year. I am planning to be there, and I'm so sad that you're not coming because I was hoping to get a chance to meet you there. But we'll definitely get a chance to catch up at one of these events sometime for sure. So thanks again, Courtney. And I'm going to let you have the last word, and then we're going to wrap it up.
I didn't hear what you said before wrap it up, I'm sorry.
I said I'm going to let you have the last word.
Oh, okay, and that was my last word that I can't hear you. So sorry for all the technical difficulties. Gosh, yeah, what can I wrap it up with? I would just say to anybody who's curious about eating this way, just give it a shot. Just give it a shot. You can always go back to the way you ate before. Get curious, question things, maybe what they've told us about nutrition is a lie. So give it a shot. You'll never look back.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us for Grandma Speaks, Women of Wisdom. Bye, everybody.